Good morning. I got my drink. So good. For those that don't know, and it's good for you. Every morning after my coffee, of course, I have lemon juice. I put 2 green tea packets, 3 sweet and lows, and 3 or 4 honey and lemon cough drops. And the honey and lemon cough drops like melt in there, and when you drink it, it's like, I don't know. It's super good. So that's what I'm drinking. Let's do a song, shall we? I've never done this one. I was looking up like Sunday school songs and things. I don't know. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard this one in forever. Are you ready? All right. Give me oil for my lamp. Keep me burning, burning, burning. Give me oil for my lamp, I pray. Give me oil for my lamp. Keep me burning, burning, burning. Keep me burning till the break of day. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King. For my VBS and Sunday school people, I'm sure you're like, oh my gosh. And it's like, make me fishers of men, give me something, I don't know. Anyway, good morning. So this morning's verse, for those that don't know, I'm going through the verses in the back of the Bible that talk about, that give you references to gratitude, thanksgiving, bless, commend, praise. There's like 97 verses. And today I'm on, it's not really verse 34 because there's a couple that weren't really like applicable for, I don't know. So this is episode 34. It's not really verse 34, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's Proverbs 3:13. Now, I'm going to read you this verse. And Proverbs chapter 3, it's like packed. I mean, Proverbs chapter 3 is the recipe for all good things that flow from God. I really believe. So, stick around. Oh my gosh, sidebar. Look how pretty. They're like blackish, maroonish, but they totally match my shirt. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They're just pretty. Okay, so I have my little old lady, thing on. I'm gonna put it on so I can read my thing. I just love these. Plus, it helps me not lose them. So, yes, I'm an old lady and I don't care. All right. This is the verse. How blessed is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding. That's the verse. Now, chapter 3, I have broken up into 3 pieces, okay, basically. When you read the chapter, I feel like it's broken up into, like, the origin of wisdom and the truth of wisdom, the outcome of wisdom, and the promises of wisdom. Those are, like, the 3 things I feel like it's broken into. And I'm just going to read to you what I said in my notes. First of all, the origin and the truth of wisdom is that wisdom is from God, by God, originated with God. All good things are from and in and created by God. It says in chapter 3 of Proverbs that he created the universe and the earth by wisdom, that he separated the deeps by wisdom. Now, it's a little hard to comprehend the fact, but I look at it like, okay, here's God. All things, all good things are in, of, by, and created by God. All of them. They're already in them. And wisdom, I don't know if, when God sends an angel to do something, I don't know if wisdom is like I don't know. I look at it like God is like, he created the whatever, and he sent wisdom out to, I don't know. So all things are created by God, all good things, from God, in God, by God, so wisdom is from God. That's the truth. That's the first thing. Now, I'm going to stop there and preface this by saying, I for a very long time, and I have kind of felt this way, I asked for wisdom. I went to a youth group, like a winter camp at Forest Home when I was in junior high and high school and, all the whatever. And shout out Forest Home. And they were talking about wisdom at winter camp. And they had said, it says in the Bible that if you ask for wisdom, God will give it freely, right? And I asked for wisdom. I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. I asked for wisdom. Junior high, young, naive. I'm like, God, make me wise, give me wisdom, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is that, and this is at the end of my notes, but the thing is that God says he'll give you wisdom freely. And sometimes God gives you wisdom by divine means. He gives you divine wisdom. And sometimes wisdom is by experience. And the caveat with that is that experience comes from trials and mistakes and failures and disappointments. And sometimes wisdom comes from those things. And so some things that I got when I was in junior high and asked for wisdom were divine. God's given me wisdom on. And a lot of them were by experience. So when you ask for wisdom from God, I think it's wise to also ask for discernment, that you'll make wise choices, and ask God for wisdom and discernment and humility to learn from your mistakes and from your past so that you are better and not bitter. It's my little sidebar. All right, so wisdom is from God. And the second thing of the breakdown of the chapter of 3 is the outcome, right? There's a lot of things in chapter 3 that talk about the outcome of being wise, right? Or having wisdom. And this is what I wrote down. It says, if you're wise, right? Like godly wisdom, not man wisdom. Oh, also another squirrel moment. Anyway, I also have felt like we have looked at wisdom as being like intelligent, like someone's wise. So they're AKA they're smart, like intellectual. But wisdom, that's a very like surfacey, like, you know what I mean? But wisdom is it's like an onion. There's so many facets of wisdom. It's not just, being intellectual or something. And so these are the outcomes of being wise. So anyway, if you are wise, if you have godly wisdom, it says in chapter 3 that you don't follow evil or make evil schemes, that you don't plot against your neighbor who trusts you, you don't set yourself up with evil people, that you give of the first of the fruits that God's provided you with, like your tithe or whatever, you give back to God. And when you do that, he blesses you. You keep God's commandments. And I'm going to tell you, this isn't like the 10 commandments. Yes, we should keep those. But the commandments he's talking about are the ones that Jesus said in the New Testament, where he said the 2 greatest commandments are to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Those are the commandments he's talking about. So if you are wise, you don't follow evil people, you don't make evil schemes, you don't plot against your neighbor, you give from the first fruits to God. Wise people keep God's commandments and they love him first and their neighbor as their self. Wise people wear kindness and truth around their neck. Wise people trust in the Lord and not themselves. Wise people don't withhold when they have it to give. Like if you have it to give and you tell your neighbor to just come back another day, like wise people don't do that. They don't envy violent, crooked, perverse people, because it says in the Bible that those people are house is an abomination and a curse is on their home. That's what it says. But it says the wise people are blessed and have a blessing on their dwelling. And then here's the third breakdown, right? So there's the 3 pieces in this chapter. There's the origin of wisdom, which is from God, by God, created by God. All good things are from God. Wisdom is from God. He created the universe and the earth by wisdom. And then the outcome, if you are wise. And then the third are the promises of being wise. Here's what it says. It says, wisdom gives you a long life and a peaceful path and peaceful years. And as a side note, The promise of a long life and peaceful years and a peaceful path is written in chapter 3 multiple times. At least 2 or 3 times it talks about wisdom giving you a long life, longevity, and peaceful years, multiple times. There's also multiple places in chapter 3 where it says wisdom gives you health to your body and your bones. It says wisdom gives you a good reputation and favor with God and man. It says that wisdom makes your path straight. If you trust in the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, he will make your path straight. It says that it fills your barns and your vats to overflow. Wisdom does. Wisdom makes you happy and secure, makes you lie down in safety, and it says that you won't be afraid even when evil comes for you. I'm telling you here, wisdom doesn't say evil won't come for you. It doesn't say you won't have trials. It says when they come, you will lie down in safety. And it also says the wise don't get upset when God corrects them, because God only corrects his children, like a father with his son or daughter whom he delights in, right? Wise people don't reprove God's correction. They don't, God only corrects and reproves and whatever his children that he loves and he delights in. So that's being wise. So those are the 3 chunks of chapter 3, right? The origin, the outcome, the promises of wisdom. And then I wrote what I told you in the beginning. God promises wisdom if you ask for it. And I did a very, very, very long time ago. But sometimes that is by divine means and sometimes by experience. And experience comes from trials, mistakes, failures, and disappointments. Ask God for wisdom and discernment that you'll make wise choices. Ask God for wisdom and discernment and humility to learn from your mistakes and your past so that it makes you better and not bitter. I really feel like wisdom is the source and the beginning. True godly wisdom is the source and the beginning of so many things, right? It's the source of discernment. Wisdom is the source of kindness, humble, of loving, of forgiving, of peacefulness. It leads to Christ and not to yourself. And let me explain. If you are wise and you seek godly wisdom, then you have good discernment. If you are wise, then it's easy for you to be kind because your wisdom doesn't have any insecurities in it, right? If you are wise, then you're wise enough to be humble, to know that you don't know everything and only God knows. If you're wise, then you understand that you have been forgiven a lot. And it's easy to forgive people because forgiveness, you understand, is not about giving that person a blessing, but about helping also yourself so that you're not swallowing poison and expecting it to kill somebody else. Wisdom leads to being loving because you understand God's love for you. Wisdom leads to the scientific research and understanding of Christ in history as an actual man who actually died. The Romans that would have guarded him, why it's so significant that he rose from the dead and that his body is not there anymore. You would be wise enough to understand history and science that God made it. Wisdom is the beginning of the source of all the things, in my opinion. And it even says that by wisdom and understanding, God created the universe. By wisdom, he created the earth and separated whatever. It's really, there are a lot. I kind of snuck ahead and I saw what chapter 4 was going to be about, Proverbs 4. It's also about wisdom. I'm trying to remember if I wrote down, because I don't have my notebook. I just have a picture of it. At the beginning of my gratitude journey, I wrote down that I wanted to do all the things about gratitude. And then I wrote down 2 other things, and I don't know if wisdom was one of them. But I feel like there's a lot of things in the Bible about wisdom. And the thing is that there are a lot of promises in the Bible about wisdom. And again, this isn't intellectual side. This isn't man wisdom. This is God wisdom. Understanding that you need Jesus, that you don't know everything, that you ask God for discernment and you make wise choices, that you're kind and loving and forgiving. That all comes from wisdom, Anyway, it was really good. And I really like the promises of wisdom because I want a long life. Here's the thing. I have wisdom, right, in a lot of areas, but not like, but man, I know, the more I understand about God, the more I understand the how wretched I am and how little self-control I have, and how like the more I understand backwards versus when I was younger and I thought like, I know it, I got it, whatever. The older I get, the more I realize I don't get. And I'm still gaining wisdom, like I'm trying to be healthier in my body and make better choices. That's hard, when I have spent decades managing pain and stress and trauma in the way that I live, which was not wise or healthy. There are consequences to that in my body, and then things that I didn't have control over. I didn't have control over the fact that I had cancer or anything like that. But just wisdom in how you live physically, spiritually, with other people. And I really like the promises: long life, peaceful years, a healthy body and bones, a good reputation and favor with God, a straight path. My barns will be full, and I don't have a barn, and my vats overflowing. I'm going to lie down in safety. Like, all those things sound awesome. But it comes from wisdom, and wisdom comes from God. Anyway, it was really good. I hope that helped you guys this morning. I hope you guys have a great day. I have so much, I don't have so much to do, but I do have to go. I love you like a crazy person. Please be good to one another. And don't forget, you are one of the one another's. Don't forget to take time to be good to yourself. It's not selfish. It's good. You need boundaries and time to be quiet with the Lord, to remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that He has good plans for you. You need to do all those things so that you have the ability to overflow in your life, to take care of other people. And if you don't do that, you are going to burn out. So, little nugget of wisdom for you this morning. Anyways, okay, I love you, and I mean it, Peanut. Mwah.